All right, guys, I'm back here. I've been fitting these running boards to these fiberglass fenders, and obviously I have the rear off, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. So for some of you guys that have smooth running boards and can't figure out how to bolt them, so I came up with this deal. The way that this bed sits on this chassis with the cab stretched and whatnot, I ended up making my own braces. You can see where I stitch welded them in like a factory deal. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna show you. So what I did is those braces are 1.5 inches wide. And they're on a taper, believe it or not. So what I did is I took a piece of tubing and I scribed it. This one's 3/4, 5/8, and 1/4 inch. These get welded with this, with the running board on top. So it gives you threads inside. Same with the 5/8, same with the 1/4. The 1/4 I'm gonna have to use shorter nuts because it'll go all the way through. But this is the only way I could do it without putting the bolts back into the running boards. So it's gonna give it that clean, smooth look, but they're also gonna be bolted down. So these didn't fit these fenders real well. So I had to add all this piece in here and I carried the contour around and I added all this. I had to do the same on the rear. I don't know the manufacturer of these running boards. They don't fit real well. The other one's gonna be a challenge. It's already been cut lengthwise. But this one I wanted to start with so I knew what I was playing with. And then this one here is what I'll do is I'll make a replica with what I have on the other side. As you can see on the other side, so they hacked it up, and this is just a piece. See, they cut off the whole lip, and that's the remaining, but they cut the front as well, so it's too short. So somebody had this made, this piece, with the purple dye marking fluid on it. It's still short, so I don't know if they planned on cutting it in the center, shoving that forward, and then taking that piece and grafting in. But this black piece down here is probably a good 1/4 inch off. It sits like right here when it's on the fender. So I'm gonna have to work that. But what I wanted to kind of share with you guys, the progress, it's kind of been slow going. Not so much with this truck. I've had some personal things going on, so that's why I haven't really been moving really along as well as I'd like. So I got the e-brakes cable ran, and I don't want them rubbing on the frame. And some of you guys may be familiar with it, some of you guys not. But what we do is I cut this hole, and I have another hole on this side. And it's at a diagonal hole, so it's gonna hard to be seen. So from this line to this line, that's the angle that it's going. So what I'm gonna do, I've already kind of started it. So I take some 3/4 inch tubing, I cut it on that angle. It's gonna get TIG welded in, and the brake line will actually fly through the frame, so it's not rubbing on the bottom, chafing the paint, and all that. I've gotta do it to both sides. And I just wanted to share this with you. This is what sets other cars apart in vehicles, is it takes time to do this, and people don't realize what it does, but it just cleans up everything. So I'm gonna move on to that and get those done on both sides, and then the driver's side's pretty much done, minus drilling fenders and those fiberglass fenders. Then I gotta move to this side, the passenger side, do the running board, but I'm gonna do the frame first, and then onto the front bumper. After that, I just gotta mount a couple of the e-brake cables, like the brackets, to where I'm gonna mount them on the frame, because I'm gonna have the passenger side go across that beam there at the top, nice and tight tucked, and they're gonna run parallel down the frame, and then it switches over to a 1 cable instead of 2, and goes up to the foot activated e-brake. But when you're doing this stuff, you got to think simplicity. Don't try to overthink it, but you want it clean. So when they look through the fender well, they're going to see that cable, and they may not see it, but maybe through the wheel that he's running, one of those, you'll see a cable, but it'll go in the frame, and it'll look like these are ran in the frame, but when you lay underneath, it goes on the other side. You could put them in the frame. The problem is it's boxed. So once you get it in there, you're gonna have probably a hell of a time to try to get it back out. But this is all the stuff that has to be done before it goes to powder coat, because this has to be welded in, and then when it comes back, there's no welding, no grinding, no nothing on the frame. You can drill it and tap it if you have to, and I usually do that after the fact. But any main fabrication has to be done now. So stay tuned, and hopefully everything starts coming my way, and I won't have any more kind of personal issues, and hope to share more videos with you guys. Stay tuned, and if you're not a subscriber, go over there to my channel and subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and follow me on other social media sites. We're trying to make this truck something that you guys haven't seen before, so stay tuned, and I'll just keep digging on it.